I think it's pretty sad that you have to not call yourself or take off your who you are because of external factors or
Right.
what other people are doing. That's still who you are. You can't really change that. Also, it's important for people of different characteristics to show up at the table in your community so you can be a representative of difference within that community. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, we are back. We are the Annoying Vegans. We provide perspective, validation, and laughs about all the social situations that you face today.
All right, that's your DJ voice. I like that. Just ladies.
I recite this every night before I go to sleep.
I'm sure you do. Awesome. So how you doing today, man?
I'm chill. It's so beautiful out. I just came
is.
from the gym and I was just walking outside, and it's March for those listening. It's March in Texas, and I just feel like this is the best time of year in Texas. It's not hot. It's winter's basically over.
Yeah.
Spring's just around the corner. The air feels so clean and crisp and cool and nice. So I just want it to stay like this for the rest of the year.
And the days are getting longer, right? So there's a little bit more sunlight as well. But yeah, no, I got out of work today. It was just like, this is beautiful. Like, I wish I didn't have to work all day so I can like just enjoy outside. Spring in Texas, like last year or even like the years before, we didn't get a lot of it. It was just like basically winter right into like hotness. So like now it's perfect the way the weather is. Kind of gets you in the mood of like almost like preparing to do stuff. Like, because when you're a kid, you're always looking forward to like summer because of the summer vacation. But when you're an adult, it's harder to think about that because you don't necessarily get the summer off, but you still kind of want to do something. And so like spring to me is always like a new beginning, but also the preparation of just going out and doing something, being outside. And being outside in Texas is like, it's not that great in the summer, but some days it is. Some days it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
With the emphasis on the miss.
Right. Especially like lately, but spring so far has been good. And I think spring started March 1st.
Officially? Officially on the 19th.
Oh, really?
That's the spring equinox.
You know what? Google lied to me. Google lied to me. They said,
don't blame Google.
Google said spring is always on March 1st. And I was like, how does that work? But I believe you because you're Google. But you said it's March 19th.
I don't know if that was Google Gemini or like
Siri
or Alexa trying to like come in here and mess with you. But whoever
it
told you that lied.
Disinformation. So, and I just spread it to everybody. And
don't
I feel
listen
like
to
a fool.
him.
All right.
I have an interesting question for you, Alex.
Okay.
Is there a difference between veganism or vegan, the word vegan, or plant-based?
Okay. Wow. All right. So I'm no expert. What I've lived and what I've seen and what I've heard of what veganism is different from what plant-based is. Plant-based is more like a diet, so to say. So like what you're eating, what you're consuming, and it's obviously more plant-based. It's fruits, vegetables, whatever, legumes. But veganism is more of a lifestyle. It's not just what you eat, but what you wear, what you drive, what, overall your lifestyle, kind of how you live. And that's, from my understanding, it's like no consuming of animal products or anything like that.
When you look up the words in the Oxford Dictionary, they sound very similar. So, for instance, vegan.
What we got on the Oxford Dictionary, what's it saying?
Vegan, a person who does not eat any food derived from animals and who typically does not use other animal products. Plant-based, consisting largely or solely of vegetables, grains, pulses, I don't know what that means, or other foods derived from plants rather than animal products. Yeah, I don't want to know what pulses are. But yeah, so they sound kind of similar, right? Like they're focusing a lot on food or diet.
Dr. Greger's book right there. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I love Dr. Greger. Which I have it on my shelf right there.
So with that, would you consider yourself vegan? Or can you be vegan and plant-based, or can you be plant-based without being vegan?
In my opinion, they're the same. I think some people view the label vegan as too intense and will prefer to say plant-based because they don't want to be associated with extremities in the community. You know, like the people who are out there throwing paint on fur coat, they won't want to be like associated with that kind of activism, so they prefer to say plant-based. I've seen people provide that rationale for going with the plant-based label. And then you have other people who describe it very similarly to how you did at the beginning, and they say that one is a lifestyle that extends past food, like veganism would extend past food. It would extend to what you wear. For me, I've been fully vegan since January of 2018 from a food perspective. I've been navigating towards becoming vegan from other perspectives as well in the last couple of years. The toothpaste that I use, the face cream that I use, the hair balm, the soap, all of that is plant-based, vegan. I try to do the same for laundry detergent. I haven't found the best laundry detergent results, so sometimes I do go and get the conventional version. My chapstick is vegan too. So for the most part, but I'm not like 100%. Like I wouldn't say, oh, because I have this laundry detergent that's not considered plant-based that you should take my vegan label away. You know?
Yeah, no, I think, and what you were talking about before as well, like with calling yourself vegan, there is a certain connotation, but there's also attracts certain people as well, where it's like you don't want to be associated with those people. We discussed that on another episode of our podcast, so make sure you listen to all our episodes. But I remember not too long ago, like when I first was like reading about veganism, I actually saw and found out that Waka Flocka was vegan. And he was like vegan for a little minute, and then after a while, I think he said he stopped calling himself vegan or stopped being vegan because of the type of people who I guess that people would associate him with. So like I don't know necessarily if he went off the diet, but I think I did remember reading an article where he said he doesn't call himself vegan anymore because of that. And that's another thing. Like I guess you can somewhat do it interchangeably as far as the veganism label or the plant-based label. But one thing that I was thinking about not too long ago was like when it comes to the actual diet of veganism and plant-based, especially with like technologies happening now where you can have like non-animal based whey or like lab-grown meat. Like those things are vegan because there's no animal that was like killed or tortured to get that, but it was created in a lab, so that's vegan. But at the same time, lab-based meat plant-based, although it's not consistent of any plants at all. So it's like I think there is a difference between vegan and plant-based. I would say that I'm vegan. Like I like you, I try my best to get vegan products, like you said, lip balm, soaps, anything that I'm using. You know, I try to make sure that if there's labels, there's so much information on the internet now, so it's almost impossible not to find what exactly something is. Everyone's effort is a little bit different, but I consider myself vegan. But even with that, I also try to eat as many plants and vegetables as possible as well, so I guess I would also somewhat consider myself plant-based. So I do think there is somewhat a difference between the two, and I can see some people not wanting to call themselves vegan and just say plant-based, or some people, because it's a buzzy word, they just use plant-based as opposed to vegan, and vice versa. But whether you want to call yourself vegan or plant-based, that's fine with me, because overall it'll get you to where we kind of all want to be in society, right?
I love your perspective. I think it's very positive.
I try to be.
I feel like I don't agree. I feel like when you talk about the Waka Flocka situation, or there's a lot of people who are similar to him in that sense. I think it's pretty sad that you have to not call yourself or, take off who you are because of external factors or what other people are doing. That's still who you are. You can't really change that. Also, it's important for people of different characteristics to show up at the table in your community so you can be a representative of difference within that community.
Right.
So I think it's important to have differing opinions, characteristics, backgrounds at the vegan table. So I wish that more people, I wish that less people would want to drop it for the reasons of external factors. Sometimes I feel like having so many labels confuses the message, especially for people who aren't really familiar with it from the outside. It can get confusing. Well, what is it? Like, what are you? Are you vegan? Are you vegan? Are you plant-based? I agree with the ultimate goal is always going to be a benefit from both people, but I feel like it can get confusing. Like, what is our message with all of these differing labels?
And when you were talking, it kind of brought something to my mind as well. It's like, when we're talking about Waka Flocka, and I've honestly not said his name in so many years, it's crazy, and I'm saying it like 5 times already today. But when you're talking about like celebrities in general, and this could be like a whole nother topic, a whole nother episode. But like when celebrities go vegan, I hate it.
Really?
Yes, I hate it because celebrities are fickle and they go where the money is. And so, like we were saying, like you shouldn't have to change who you are because of external pressures. Well, that's kind of like celebrities. Like if it's not making them money, they're going to change. Or if it's not meeting what they want in their life, it's going to change. And I think that gives people the wrong impressions as well when you have someone label themselves as one thing and then they drop it and then just like, oh, why did they drop it? Why did they go from vegan to plant-based, or why did they just drop it all together? Like that. Then that's kind of why I like whenever someone says, oh, this person went vegan, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, because that stuff doesn't last, and if it does last, that's great, that's amazing, but more than likely it won't. And so, but I think there's also like there's different types of lifestyles and diets like keto and carnivore and stuff like that, where there's not really like an overall wellness or welfare type of message. It's really just kind of making sure you're or just trying to promote, I guess, a certain image of yourself. And I think being vegan gives others that, I guess, illusion, I don't know if that's the right word, but it kind of makes you seem kind of holier than thou, because you're trying to better the world, and you're like, oh, okay, you're trying to better the world. Well, maybe plant-based, you're not necessarily trying to better the world. Maybe you're trying to better yourself. And so I agree, like the labels themselves are kind of give weird messages, and especially when you kind of switch labels. But to me, ultimately, like I said, it's if your goal is to lessen, animal suffering, or even if it is just for your health or the environment, whatever the purpose is, like regardless of what you call yourself, I think there's much to be, I guess, to be applauded and to commend yourself for trying to think of others and think of the world more than just think about your diet or what your label is.
Drop the mic. So who's your favorite vegan celebrity?
Oh yeah, and tomorrow they'll not be vegan anymore.
Cool. Well, that was a very nice discussion. I feel like I learned something today. So what do you guys think? Is there a difference? Plant-based, vegan? Do you hold one label over the other? Do you hold both labels? Do you prefer one? Are they the same? Are they different? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I'm looking for what y'all are talking about, man. We want to see some feedback.
Yes, please. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all listening. We will catch you on the next one.
Peace.